What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? We are back at it again with another episode of Stats Over Politics. For the YouTube viewers, TikTok, Twitch, Instagram, you guys know that it is just Alex and Kevin today. Shaun is out with the flu, and Toddy was ruled out for today yesterday. So all roads used to lead back to Kevin and Toddy, but I guess all roads lead to Alex and Kevin. You know, the Dent show, the Dent takeover. So before we get into this basketball episode, Alex, how you doing today?
Man, it was a long Monday. Working hard and life is weird. You look different though, Kevin James.
You know, I'm gonna say that for the people that aren't. That's why you gotta tune in. If you tune in live, you get to see the change in my appearance. For the audio-only listeners, I decided to shave my face. All I have is a mustache. I've been called the porn stash Kev. I've been called El Hombre Kev. I've been called Mustache LeBron. So just a lot of different reasons. And the reasoning was because for those of you that don't know, I turned 29 on Sunday. So my license is expiring. So I need to take a new photo. And I told my wife, I said, how funny would it be if years down the line we look back on this photo and I have a stash? She goes, Kevin, I've never seen your chin. And I was like, damn, that's kind of crazy. We've been together almost 10 years and you've never seen my chin. Alex, I was telling people it's probably been since like freshman year, maybe. Maybe sophomore year since I didn't have like facial hair. Yeah. So it's been a very long time since, I've just had a naked chin. I called all my close friends and family and let them know that it happened. It's something that I've talked about doing, but I never wanted to do it. Never wanted to take the leap of faith. But now I have a reason to, and I'm kind of adjusting to it. Still looks kind of weird, but I'm adjusting to it.
It's just a little pale. Some sun.
My chin hasn't seen the sun since 2015, 2014. So it's been a very long time, but I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to have my sister on the show. Before we get into the basketball world, we have to come on here and shout out West Campus Basketball Section Championship again. 4 times in 10 years, Alex? Is that the number?
Yes.
4 years. 4 section championships in 10 years. Alums. Or 9.
4 and 9 years.
9 years. Going on 9 years. So, hey, the winning percentage is there. West Campus continues to get it done. Hall of Fame coach Langston continuing to get it done. And then we have up-and-coming coaches like KJ. For those of you who don't know, KJ played with Alex, and then she went on to play at UCLA. So she's now on the staff. So they got a lot of good things going at West Campus. So now that we got that out of the way, let's dive into some of these comments. We got a happy Monday, my man. And then we have a hi. So hello to you too. I'm hoping, all the Hornets fans come, because last time it was just Alex and I. They took over, and I'm here for it. Every time they lose, my dad and Alex call me or they text me to let me know. So they are not on a 10-game winning streak, but another team is that we are going to talk about later on. So in episode 183, we will be talking about the Spurs and the thought of them even attempting to make a run to an NBA Finals. We are going to give our NBA midseason awards, and then we will talk about the anti-tanking rules. So we are going to start off hot. We're going to start off with our mid-season NBA awards. So Alex will do Coach of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, Most Improved, Rookie of the Year. So we'll go back and forth. So you'll say yours, you'll the reasoning, and I'll say mine. So we're going to start with Coach of the Year. Alex, so who do you have for your Coach of the Year through the mid-season?
I think that's funny because my dog's also in my room right now, but she's just eating. I'm kind of I don't know who I want to pick. I think my heart goes to, I don't know his name because this team was ran by Pop for so long, but the Spurs head coach, I think he's doing a phenomenal job. But I also think we got to give props to the head coach of the Raptors, just because I did not think the Raptors would be in this position. Like where they should, like, I did not think they would be top 6 in the East, and they're probably like around the 4 or 5 spot at the moment. So, but I think I got to give it to the Spurs head coach. I apologize. I don't know.
Mitch Johnson. His name is Mitch Johnson, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
So he was definitely somebody I thought of. But I think we really just have to give it up because you're talking about a team that used to be ran by somebody else. JB Bickerstaff, Detroit Pistons, #1 team in the East. You got to give it up to them. With all this new NBA tanking rules, this is one team that successfully tanked through many, many seasons, and now they are good. So JB Bickerstaff to have this team where they are with generally all young guys. They haven't really made a trade, so it's really all just home culture. Coming from a Cavs team where he kind of burnt out and they didn't hit the marks that they wanted to. So he really didn't have the expectation that they were ever going to be the 1 seed. I get it. Having Cade Cunningham helps. Having Jalen Duren helps. But besides that, Tobias Harris, people were going to trade for crumble cookies last year. So the Pistons, JB Bickerstaff, you got to show them some love. Another coach that I really wanted to say was Joe Mazzulla. Before this season started, everyone's talking about Celtics top 3 pick. We're going to wait for Jason Tatum to come back. Jaylen Brown's always hurt. We just don't have the guys. But he came out in the beginning of the year and said, we're not fucking tanking. Like, you can just see it in his face, the seriousness. He's not going to sit here and he's not going to tank. He is hired to do a job, and he's going to do that job to the best of his ability. So Joe Mazzulla, I think, will definitely get a nod. But I definitely think it's going to go to JB Bickerstaff. The Suns coach, I thought about throwing him in there. Mitch Johnson as well, having a #2 seed with a bunch of young guys. But if I had to pick today, it would be JB Bickerstaff.
Yeah, JB Bickerstaff.
Okay, so we agree there. I think that's probably the only one we might agree on.
No, there should be another one.
Next, defensive player of the year.
Yes. Should we say it together?
I'm not gonna come on here and say Wemby. Alex, there's 18 games left, and he only missed 2 games. Are we gonna say he's gonna play 18 games in a row?
Yes.
I wasn't here in this portion of the last episode when we talked about the 65 game rule, but I think this is the perfect example of why this rule needs to no longer be a thing, because Victor Wembanyama, years down the line when he's getting accepted to the Hall of Fame, instead of it being 13, 14-time defensive player of the year, it might only be 5 because he's not going to play enough games.
But it's about like not stability, but like consistency throughout the season. Like, you can't just be good for 40 games out of 82. You know what I mean? So that's why I like the 65 game rule. But
yeah, but if you get hurt, it should be different. If you have a injury, that's fine. Load management shouldn't count.
Like, you can't really.
I mean, it's a very gray line. It's a gray line. If Victor does not miss a game, of course it's gonna be Victor Wembanyama. But I don't think it's gonna be very likely. I think it's gonna be Chet. #1 defense, best defender on that team, first-time All-Star. He's gonna make an all-defensive team. I would be very surprised if Chet didn't win. Because last year, to a very extent, it was Victor Wembanyama until he got hurt. Then it was Evan Mobley. Then it was Draymond Green. So it's like we've seen this before. So am I gonna sit here confidently and say I think he's gonna play 18 out of 8 or 16 out of 18 games? I don't think so. There's got to get to a point where they clinch a spot and they're not going to play. So it's the easy answer is to say Victor Wembanyama. But if he does get hurt, we're going to have to go scramble like we did at the end of last season. So I'm going to say Chet Holmgren, and another dark horse that I really do like that everyone in the world's going to hate because that's all he does is play defense is Rudy Gobert. I think Rudy Gobert, he's the anchor of a defense. No matter what you say, he has played off the field, played off the court in the playoffs. I get that. But he is a defensive anchor.
Yeah, I mean, I could respect it. I thought you were going to say like Lou Dort or something.
So are you just going to sell your bank on him playing 16 out of 18 games?
I am. I think. I mean, Chet's a good option too, but I like Wemby more.
It's definitely tiers. Like tier 1 plays all 65 games. Victor Wembanyama, like I said, for the next every year of his career.
Mm-hmm.
So it's gonna be interesting. But if he does play 14 games out of 16, I'm gonna come on. Obviously, I'm gonna say Victor Wembanyama. It's that easy. The next one we are going to do most improved player of the year.
This guy has just been on my mind since we've been talking about this, and I was kind of thinking about my picks. Jalen Duren, I feel like should be up there with most improved. So I'm gonna leave it at that. Let's see what yours is.
You're wrong. It's Keontae George. 24 points, 7 assists, 4 rebounds. And let's just go into what his career has been. Let's go. So he is now averaging 24. He went from averaging 13 to 16 to 24.
Okay.
So I think he should be in there. A guy like Michael Porter Jr., who's also averaging 25 plus. A guy who was kind of established as a role player in Denver. You know, when you're playing with the Joker and you're playing with guys like Aaron Gordon and Jamal Murray, he's kind of get lost in the mix and he's always hurt. Coming into the draft, if he wasn't injured, you know, maybe he would have went higher. Maybe, you know, everything happens for a reason. But I think Michael Porter definitely deserves some love here. But I think Keontae George would win it. And I know this is really just an award for lottery picks that take longer time to cook in the oven. But I think Keontae George is another perfect example of that. They don't really have anything in Utah besides Keontae George. So, next one. What were you saying?
They're cooking. Utah Jazz is cooking.
I mean, they're the reason.
I think they'll be a dark horse in the next year in the West. They're not going to be.
They're the reason we have these anti-tanking rules.
I know. We'll get back. We'll get to that. But like, what they have been doing, like I could see the vision. You know what I mean?
All right. So next one, Rookie of the Year. Who do you have for your Rookie of the Year? Let me tell you before you pick. This is going to tell the listeners about what you value.
I think it's BJ. No, okay, sorry.
He wasn't even considered.
No. That just came out. I think it has to go Knuckle. I think it has.
Oh, okay. So you value winning.
Well, they've only been winning this year.
Well, that's all he's played.
This basketball year, I mean like 2026. However, I think he has been consistent. I think he has been playing a huge role in that team. And don't get me wrong, like Cooper Flag is, I think everyone's like, of course, but I think Knuckle really, with Knuckle there, with LaMelo Ball, with Miles Bridges, and the other players, the other role players, I think they have a very good core. Whereas in the Mavericks, they don't get around Coop. So, yeah. But yeah, it's gonna be one of those two. I won't be surprised if it goes to Cooper Flag, honestly, but I won't be surprised if it doesn't, or if it goes to Knuckle as well. But VJ, I still think he should still be in the race. But anyway,
I definitely think it's a 2-man race. It's going to be interesting. But what I wanted to bring up was the last time we've had a co-rookie of the year. 1994, 1995, Jason Kidd and Grant Hill.
Yeah. I was going to say it.
Not bad. So Grant Hill averaged 19 points and 6 rebounds, and Steve Nash, sorry, not Jason Kidd, Steve Nash averaged 19, 6, and 4. So the last time we've seen it was them. So it's interesting to see that we've seen. I mean, no, it is Jason Kidd. I don't know why I said.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Jason Kidd. Yeah, the years are off. Yes,
yeah.
Those are Jason Kidd stats. Yeah. So the last time we've seen it, there were 2 really good rookies that came into not great teams and made impacts. So it's easy to say Colin Knippel because he's winning. But if you put Colin Knippel on the Mavericks, does his numbers look the same? No. If you put Cooper Kupp on the Hornets, do his numbers look the same? Yes, the numbers are damn near identical. Besides the shooting, that's really the only biggest difference. Cooper Flag is one of 4 rookies since the NBA ABA merger to average 20 plus points, 6 rebounds, and 4 assists. Larry Bird, Michael Jordan, Luka Doncic. He is on a list of point blank first ballot Hall of Famers. I get it. Colin Knippel is having a great year. He's averaging, he had 43% on threes on 8 attempts a night. So he's getting them up, and he is a part of this young core for the future. So it's very nice to see that they're finally hitting on these draft picks, but I think it's gonna have to go Cooper Flag, just because of what he's doing. And I get it. Colin Knippel's doing it on a winning team, but I mean, let's be frank. If the Mavericks didn't shit the bed, the Mavericks would have the better team. If Anthony Davis didn't get hurt, if Kyrie Irving never tore his Achilles, maybe we look at it differently because they're both winning. But unfortunately, they're both not winning. So it's really easy to say he's not winning. So I'm gonna go Cooper Flag just because I believe what he's doing on a higher pedestal. I guess he's the man. He shoots all the shots. They win and die by him. If Colin Knippel will have a bad game, they can still win.
Yes. Yeah. I think it'll be interesting to have co-rookie of the years, though. I feel like that was that one. Maybe there has been close rookie races that I haven't maybe been paying attention to, but the last one I remember was really close. Remember, like, it was Ben Simmons and someone else.
Can you be a professional and mute your phone?
Oh, I'm literally talking so I'm not even, oh my gosh. But it was Ben Simmons and someone, and I remember it was like back and forth, and then it ended up being Ben Simmons and then Donovan Mitchell. And that year should have been I felt like. So I feel like if the NBA guys are listening, we should have co-rookie of the years.
I just feel like that they're getting away from
Yeah, they are. Because
it makes too much controversy, because if you do it one year, why won't you do another year?
Well, was that the only time they did it?
Mm-hmm.
But like, that's respectable, though. Like, look what
you don't want to be tied with somebody.
Oh, I'm pretty sure Knuppel and Flag, who were college roommates and teammates, would be fine.
That's one thing they get to brag over another. Not, oh, we both won.
You guys are both in the league. You'll be fine. One of them will one up the other one eventually. So
for sure. So before we move on to some of these comments, Dennis Alden 5301. Happy to see you both. Sending good vibes from Florida. Appreciate it. Happy Monday to you guys. Happy Monday to you as well. And then we have some Cowboys fan that somehow got in here. Cowboys are going to win the division. Jalen Hurts is done. Blah, blah, blah. Dak is my quarterback. You know what? You're always them boys until you're not. And we'll leave it at that. Thank you. Finally. Nice mustache. Appreciate you, Pop. Someone finally came on here and, gave me the credit that I deserve. So, yeah. The next thing we're going to talk about are the NBA anti-tanking rules. So we'll go rule by rule. So the first one we are going to talk about, let me go ahead and pull them up. First round draft picks can only be protected top 4 to top 14 plus. I love that rule. It kind of leaves a little wiggle room because 5 to 14 is a big window. So you can't completely tank because it's either you have to commit to a tank or be competitive, because a lot of those teams that get those 5 to 14 picks, unfortunately, were not the worst of the worst tankers. What do you think about that new rule?
I like that new rule. I think, like you said, either you're going to commit from the jump you're tanking, like the Indiana Pacers, like they knew from the tip off from game 1, it's not the year for them. You know what I mean? The Sacramento Kings is up there too. And they're like,
you can't say we're tanking, bro. We just suck.
Let's just commit. Because I feel like some teams, they don't actively try to tank at the beginning of the season, but they notice the season's not going their direction, and then they want to tank, right? And that's what I don't like. So I think that means more teams, like you said, have to be competitive. I think that means only 4 teams, so probably 2 teams from each division or each conference have to tank. And that'll make it interesting. I wonder who's tanking. next year when these rules are applied, who's not going to tank? Obviously, there's teams who are obviously trying to get these top picks in the 2026 draft, and they won't be tanking anymore. Like, I think the Utah Jazz, this is probably it for them.
Oh yeah.
But there's other teams who continually tank. So be interesting.
Lottery odds freeze at the trade deadline or a later date. I just want everybody to know, when we talked about this last week or 2 weeks ago, this was literally my idea. I said, pick a date on the calendar, don't tell nobody, and say, this is when the odds are frozen. If they do it at the trade deadline, everyone's going to know, so it's really no surprise. But I feel like if they did it on a random Tuesday after the trade deadline, it would make it a lot different, because at that point, the odds are already stuck. The Jazz example, perfect example, there's no reason to pull your guys in the fourth quarter. We're stuck into what we're into. At this point, let's go win games. We're not going to make the playoffs, but we can't do anything to improve our draft stock. So let's continue to just go out there and play. What do you think about this rule?
I don't love this rule because I think there are teams who, and this doesn't happen often, but I always remind myself of the Boston Celtics during that one run a few years back where they were like maybe mid 500. And I'm not saying they were tanking or anything like that, but they were really trying to improve. And I think they went from like the 7th seed all the way to like the 2nd seed in the East or something like that year. And so like it, like you're making all this progress, and now it doesn't matter about drafts for the Boston Celtics. Like you said earlier, Joe Mazzulla and the boys, even 4 years back, they don't tank, right? But I also feel like, I don't know, maybe the momentum stops and then you can't, I don't know. I'm not feeling that one as much as the top 4 protected option. And I don't also know if they're going to do all of these options. Like, is it only going to be like 1 or 2? Because I think if you're going to do all of them, I think that's kind of a lot.
I mean, you have to, because I mean, we'll get into the other ones later, because I mean, some of them affect winning teams, some of them affect losing teams. So we'll definitely get into them, and I would love to see kind of how many they input into next season. The next one, the one that I think is the worst, no longer allowing a team to pick in the top 4 consecutive years or after consecutive bottom 3 finishes. If this rule was a thing, we were just talking about the Pistons. The Pistons are a thing. The Wizards aren't a thing. The Spurs, we're going to talk about them later. They are not a team if this rule is, because they got Victor Wembanyama, Stephon Castle, and Dylan Harper. So teams are – you're punishing teams for being bad. And unless you're drafting a generational player, a 2-year turnaround isn't going to be enough time. So now we're being punished for being bad. This is why I give so much shit to the Jazz, because now bad teams are just being punished for being bad. And it's horrible, and it's going to really ruin the game, because now what happens when the bottom guys are the bottom guys for 2 years? Who do their picks go? They're automatically stuck out of a top 4 pick. Jalen Duren, Cade Cunningham, Ron Harper, Asar Thompson, like most of their team are top 5 picks. And now we're not going to see those teams anymore. So I think this is probably the stupidest rule, because you're punishing teams for being bad. And I get it. Kevin, teams tank that aren't bad. Utah Jazz, Pacers, I get it. But teams like the Kings and the Nets and the Wizards are just bad teams. So now they're being punished because for back-to-back years, you can't pick in top 4. And I'm not saying there's not going to be deep classes where that 5th pick is just as valuable as that 1st pick, but it's like a lot of teams don't draft right.
Okay. I like it. And the reason why I like it is I don't see it as a punishing teams that don't do well, but it's we'll get it together then type of thing. Like, it's a safety net. Like, if you finish at the bottom 3, damn, okay. Damn, you do it again? Okay, here you go. Damn, a 3rd time? This is it, though. Like, you got to get your crap together. I like that idea. Now, I know you don't watch soccer or football, the world calls it, but I love football. And I watch the Premier League a lot in England. And one thing I really like about their kind of tier football leagues, because there's a bunch of leagues, is that the bottom 3 teams in the Premier League, which is at the top of the top, right? Like the NBA equivalent. The bottom 3 teams, so if you're the 3 worst teams in the league, you automatically get relegated to like the second tier league. I like that because and then if you finish the top 3 in that second tier, you move up. Now, those teams are going to be interchangeable probably all the time because other things, and we're not going to get into all the nitty gritty. However, I like the rewarding teams that do well. And if you don't do well, you need to get your act together, right? AKA the Sacramento Kings. We have been taking for a very long time.
That's crazy though, because we haven't.
We don't draft well. We don't do that.
We don't do that.
Right? Well. And we don't have a good management. We don't have a good system. And so that is what it is. But my thing is like, I don't want teams to be tanking and being bad all the time. Like, I don't feel like teams should be like the Sacramento King fans who know their team is probably not going to make it to the playoffs that much. And if they do, then the games are going to be $700 for nosebleeds. You know what I mean?
Let me ask you a question. Do you look at the Pacers and the Jazz the same way you do the Wizards and the Kings? Like the tanking. Do you look at them the same?
I mean, tanking is tanking, but
it's different when you bench players. The Kings play everybody every night, and we still lose. Like the Nets are playing everybody, and they're just not a good team. So why are the teams that aren't good being punished? It's because of the teams like the Pacers, because of teams like the Jazz. You have great players. They were up 15 one game and pulled their starters. That's a purposeful tank. Like, this is the most loser of loser ways to look at it. We just suck, and we're tanking because we suck. They're tanking because they want a good pick. Or they're tanking because the Jazz have a top 8 protected pick. The Wizards have a top protected pick. So they're tanking on purpose. Teams that just aren't good, that are playing their guys 28 and 30 minutes a night, and they're just not winning games. Like, this is a legit not tank. We're playing our starters X amount of minutes because we were trying to win. We're just outmatched. So why can we not pick in the top 4 next year if our team's still bad?
But my thing is, I can't tell if the team's ethically tanking or not. I think tanking is tanking. If you're looking at it from a broader view, right? If you're like management and things like that, like tanking is tanking. I don't know how I can punish the teams who are unethically tanking, but the teams that are ethically tanking, I could give them something. You know, I could reward them because they're doing it right. You're still losing.
Yeah, but we're not pulling, guys. If we just played the Stockton Kings for 82 games, yes, I'm all in. This is horrible for basketball. The Utah Jazz were literally up 15 points versus the Miami Heat. Said Jaren Jackson, Keontae George, Lloyd Markkanen, come here.
And you know what? They still won that game. They still won that game.
They didn't want to, obviously.
They did not want to.
But I'm saying, like, they're purposely tanking. The Kings are playing DeMar DeRozan. We're playing Zach LaVine. We're playing Russ. We're just not winning games. So why are we being punished next year? I mean, obviously next year it won't play into effect, but if we're not good for the next 3 years, how are we supposed to build something?
Because my thing is, at the end of the day, we do not want to reward losers. We want every team to win. And
then why do we have the draft if we don't want to reward losers, Alex? That's what the draft is for. Losers. Is it not? That's what we have the draft. The draft was invented for.
It's not.
The draft was invented for teams at the bottom to contend. For a team like the Mavericks to get a Cooper Flag. A team like the Cleveland Cavaliers to get a LeBron James. Chicago Bulls get Derrick Rose.
Look at the Kings. You can't always get the Kings have at least had top 7 in the last 10, 15 years in every single draft.
I agree with you. You also got to hit on the pitch. I get that.
Yeah. You know what I mean? So we can't keep rewarding the Sacramento Kings for just not drafting well. Like, I can't. If I'm like Adam Silver, I just can't do that. That's ridiculous.
But don't you think that's ruining your product if the bad teams are always bad?
Am I ruining the product if there's only the Sacramento Kings and the Washington Wizards who really suck?
I mean, the Nets, the Pacers. I mean, there's a lot of teams at the bottom.
The Nets have a bigger market, so they'll do it. It's the teams that suck and have small markets, like the Hornets. Now, the Hornets, now their picks are finally, developing and things like that, and things are clicking for them. But that's not usually the case. I mean, look at the Pelicans and Zion Williamson. We won't get there. But anyway, I just feel like you can't keep rewarding teams that have just been sucking so long. And maybe not 3. Maybe if you finish in the bottom, maybe 4. I'll give you some leeway, some grace. But that grace has to end at some point. Like, you gotta pick yourself. This is America. Pick yourself up by your bootstraps. You know what I mean?
Land of dreams, huh? Well, they're killing the dreams. Moving on. Teams cannot pick top 4 the year after making the conference finals, aka the Pacers. Look, Shaun and the Sacramento fans are not going to like what I'm going to say. Halliburton's not that fucking good. For you to go from the finals to a lottery team without him, he's not fucking LeBron James. He's not Luka. He's not Wemby. He's not Joel. You cannot look me in my face and say he has that much impact on winning.
He has that much impact on the Pacers winning. Yes, Kevin. Yes.
From them to
now,
the big bottom.
The drop is crazy. But did I think they would be top 6 in the East? No.
You done made the play-in.
Yeah.
Okay. So that is understandable. Like that margin of wins. Yes, Tyrese Halliburton accounts for that.
You're not far from the bottom. If they're in the 9th seed, all the way to the
15th,
maybe. I don't really watch the
Tyrese Halliburton doesn't contribute that much. I get it. Pascal Siakam's missed the last 7 games for personal reasons. I'm just saying, this is another reason of a blatant tank that is ruining it for all the bad teams. Because what team in the world goes from the conference finals to the lottery?
I mean, when you lose your star player in game 7,
he was literally voted the most overrated player. The NBA don't think he's that good.
And okay, but no one thinks he's overrated after his 2025 playoff run anyway.
But no one thinks he's Luka Doncic.
Wait, what about Luka?
No one thinks he's Luka. No one thinks he's SGA.
No, he's not. He's not. He's not Ant. He's not Luka. He's not Shea. He's not none of them. He's just
so you're going from the 5 to 14. That's how big of a gap he is. That's what they're telling. That's what they're trying to tell us. Because without him,
well, you're also missing the tall guy. That's in the Bucks now. Miles Turner.
Oh my gosh, Miles Turner.
I understand he wasn't like that. I mean, he was a big impact, but not that big. But still, I understand.
They tanked on purpose, bro. They tanked on purpose.
I understand they tanked on purpose, but at least they're only taking 1 year.
But still,
I don't think it's bad if you take 1 year, and especially
but this rule is ridiculous because they might as well have just said the Indiana Pacers rule.
True.
No one's going to go from the conference finals to the lottery.
Well, if a star player tears his Achilles in Game 7 of NBA Finals, maybe that isn't.
They Tatum towards Achilles. Are the Celtics at the bottom?
Well, they have another star player in Jaylen Brown.
They have. Pascal Siakam was an all-star. I'm just saying.
I understand.
Tyrese Halliburton is a damn good basketball player. He's not 5 to 15 guy. He's not that great.
Wow. Okay.
This is a blatant tank, and this is a big guy trying to be a little guy, and now because of that, they're ruining it for the little guy. Next one. Lottery odds will be allocated based on 2-year records. I love this because teams that are just bad, it accumulates both of your year's records.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that should be great. I think that should be a great addition to the NBA. You agree, I'm assuming, so we can move on. This one I hate. Lottery extends to include all playing teams. This is stupid. Because if you're a playing team, but I get it, the worst place to be is in the middle of the pack. You're not good enough to win, and you're not bad enough to lose. But now you're telling me a team like the Bulls, the Heat, the Hornets, not the Hornets, not a playing team. all these middle of the gap teams now get an opportunity to get a top pick. But you're already good. You're not bad, and you're not good. But you're just in the gray, so it's rewarding mediocrity. So we're going to reward mediocrity. Why can't we reward the bottom?
No, I agree. I don't like this. This is probably the one I don't like out of all of them, because I'm looking specifically at the West. Like the Lakers could get the 7th seed, and you're telling me they could potentially get a number 1 draft pick. Like, not to say it's like a good thing for the Lakers or anything like that, but like you said, you're rewarding mediocrity just because you're in the middle of the pack. I think this benefits the West more than the East, because that West is insane at the moment. But I mean, like, hey, maybe the Clippers could get a number 1 draft pick, and someone can help out Kawhi if he stays. Yeah.
Last one. Every team in the lottery has the same percentage to get the number 1 pick. I hate this. They flatten out all the odds, so everyone has the same percentage to get number 1. What the fuck are we playing for? You're telling me the Heat have the same percentage as the Pacers and the Kings to get the number 1 pick? They're a playing team. We're rewarding mediocrity while kicking the little guy while they're down. We have to choose a side. Either we're going to kick the little guys or we're going to kick the middle guys. We can't do both.
Are you flattening the lottery odds for just the teams who didn't make it into the play-in, or play-in as well?
Well, with this rule, the play-in teams as well, because they would now be considered the lottery.
If it's the play-in teams as well, I don't like that. I mean, I do like the flattening of the odds, but then again,
I mean, let's be real. The NBA draft
I
is
just
fucking
feel like
rigged.
it doesn't. Yeah, let's be honest. It is rigged because
the NBA draft is rigged. I think
he
all of
probably
this
got so many balls in that little thingy.
This would all be prevented if they did that shit live. They went out there and said, all right, guys, let's pull the ball. There's no question everyone in the world gets to see. The Bulls had the least amount percentage to get the number 1 pick. Derrick Rose. LeBron goes to Cleveland. Victor goes to the Spurs. There's a lot of things, a lot of times we can say, I don't know. But it's going to be very interesting. I just hate that we're kicking the little guy down.
I mean, but the little guy sucks. And and this is a big boy league. This is a big
But the middle
league.
guys don't suck.
Well, they need to get better.
But they're going to be looked at just like the Kings.
But you know what's actually going to be really interesting about these anti-tanking rules is how like these bigger stars are going to be moving in like free agency or trades or anything like that, because I feel like people don't want to give up those picks anymore, or maybe they will be more like, I don't know. I'm thinking of like Giannis, right? If they keep him, if they don't, I don't know what they're going to do. But like if this anti-tanking rules happen now and Giannis wanted to leave in free agency, I don't know. I just think it's interesting.
I feel bad for the little guys, man. They keep kicking us while we're down. But this is episode 183 of Stats Over Politics, featuring Kevin and Alex Dent. We are doing the best we can for our co-hosts, Jaevon Toddy and Shaun Hoko. So let's get into the meat of the episode. Can the San Antonio Spurs go to the NBA Finals? Before I swing it to you, Alex, I want to let you know. Phil Jackson says yeah.
Yeah.
Phil Jackson, 40-20 rule. There you go. I'll just get into that. So the 40-20 rule is for you to win 40 games before you lose 20. And since 1979, 1980, only 4 times has that not been the case. We have the 2021 Bucks, we have the 2006 Heat, the 2004 Pistons, and we have the 1995 Rockets that were not able to win their 40th game before they lost their 20th game. So by the 40-20 rule, the San Antonio Spurs have a chance to go to the finals. There are only 3 teams that have hit that this year. It is the Pistons, the Thunder, and the Spurs. So by the 40-20 rule, those are the teams that have the 3 best odds to go to the finals. Do I believe the San Antonio Spurs can go to the finals? No, I don't. I think they're a really good team. They are a team that is climbing up the rankings. You know, Every good team that we would consider contenders, they've beat. They've beaten the Thunder 4-1. They've beaten the Houston Rockets 2-1. They've beaten the Knicks. They've beaten the Pistons 1-0. They've beaten Detroit 1-0. And they've beaten the Nuggets. So everyone in front of them on that side of the bracket, they've beaten. They've shown that they can do it. Can Victor Wembanyama carry this team? Can De'Aaron Fox be the second best player on a championship team? Besides De'Aaron Fox, it's Luke Cornett with guys with playoff experience. So you're taking a lot of young guys. Harrison Barnes, I forget. He's been on every team in the world. Mitch Johnson and a bunch of young guys. The Mitch Johnson, first-time head coach, can he get this team to rally and make a finals run? I don't see it happening. I look at this team a lot like the 2024 Thunder. We thought they had high expectations, but SGA came to play. Your superstar is going to put it all on the table, and he's going to give you that first-team All-NBA expectation from tip-off to the buzzers going 0. We saw Jalen Williams struggle. We saw Chet Holmgren struggle. This was before after they lost and they said, we need to get Isaiah Hartenstein. We need to get Alex Caruso because we know this core isn't ready. We don't have the playoff experience. Let's go bring in guys that have done it at the highest level. Can Dylan Harper play in the playoffs? Stephon Castle, Keldon Johnson. The list goes on and on and on. They have a lot of young guys. Is Victor Wembanyama going to show up? 100%. I just see it very hard for them to make it to the NBA Finals, and it really depends on if they can get that 2 seed. If they get that 2 seed, it's a very high chance they can make it because that way they don't have to play the Thunder until the semifinals or the Nuggets. But if they fall to 3 and they have to play the Thunder before they get to the semis, the conference finals, it's going to be a hard game. It's going to be hard for them, but it's just a really young core. Alex, what do you think? Can the San Antonio Spurs go to the NBA Finals?
My heart says yes, but my mind says no, only because I think their core could do it. I think it's tough because they're probably going to go up against the Nuggets, and then they're going to go up against OKC. And that Nuggets series and that OKC series is going to take out so much out of them. And I don't want them to burn out like the Timberwolves did a few years back when they played Denver. And it was 7-game series, is amazing, but they had nothing in the gap. They have nothing in the tank when they played against Dallas in the Western Conference Finals. And I feel like that with the Spurs, because I think they could play up to a playoff environment and things like that. But I think 7-game series, emotionally taxing. You're probably going to play in Denver. If hopefully you get home court advantage, so you only play in Denver 3 times.
Especially after winning 8 playoff games.
Yeah, and then right after that, you're going to have to play OKC, right? And so, can they make those adjustments in game, 7 games for both of these very tough teams? I don't know if they could do that. But, we could see, I think the West is open, though. So that's why my heart is telling me they could do it. Because, the Nuggets and the OKC are injured. I know Shea came back. I know J-Dub, I don't know where he's at with his hamstring. And then I know Aaron Gordon's still injured. And so we haven't seen these teams play with all of their players probably since November, maybe December. So I don't know. I think the Spurs, if they catch a little bit of an injured, Denver team, they could get them, So I don't know how this is all going to play out. So I'm going to say no, but it's like a 49-51 no.
Okay, I like it. So we're going to end episode 183 on a this or that.
Ooh.
It's been a while since we've done a this or that, so we are going to do a this or that duo edition. So this or that, Cade Cunningham and Jalen Duren. First name Kevin Durant and Alperen Sengun.
Cade Cunningham and Jalen Duren.
I'm going to take them as well. In a perfect world, you say KD cancel each other out, so it comes down to Duran and the Sengun, and I'm gonna take the Pistons duo as well.
Yeah, I love KD though.
Next name, LeBron and Luka.
Cade Cunningham and Jalen Duren. Only because LeBron's just getting old and like I just
Yeah, but Luka's better than both of them. So does Luka not carry them over?
You said duos.
I know, but does Luka not carry the duo?
I mean, KD carries the duo.
Not Luka. KD ain't gonna be first team All NBA.
Hey, that's
Luka's averaging 37 points.
Damn. That's a lot. I know. No.
I'm gonna go Luka and LeBron because Luka out carries the duo over. Yes, this is LeBron James. He's not shooting the ball well. He's 41 years old. We get it. Kevin's a homer. Oh well. Next name, Joker and Jamal Murray.
Joker and Jamal Murray. Don't do it, Kevin. Don't. Those are champions. Together, they have 3 MVPs. He should have 5. Just with that, they are better than Cade Cunningham and Jalen. Kevin, don't play me, bro. This Jokic is up there. Don't play me, bro.
Yeah, but it's not crazy to say Cade's better than Jamal.
But okay, but how you said Luka is better than that duo? You don't think
you're right? I gotta stay consistent. All right. Fine. We'll go with the Nuggets, Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray. Next one, Donovan Mitchell and James Harden.
Only because we haven't seen a whole season, and there's been just I don't know how many games since All-Star break, so I'm gonna say Cade Cunningham and Jalen Duren. But what I've seen looks like it works.
You know, we haven't seen the Pistons duo in the playoffs. We've seen James Harden in the playoffs. It ain't been great. Donovan Mitchell ain't never been out the second round. And with all that being said, I'm taking the Cavaliers. I'm taking James Harden and Donovan Mitchell. I'm willing to bet that they're going to be able to do it more than 2 guys who haven't even put their toe in the water.
You have okay.
So I'm gonna take the Cleveland Cavaliers duo.
Wow. Okay.
Next one, Bam Adebayo and Tyler Hero.
Cade Cunningham and Jalen.
Easy. Cade Cunningham and Jalen Duren. These next 2 are going to be very, very interesting the way we've kind of had these conversations. Shea and Jalen Williams.
If we're talking this season, Cade Cunningham and Jalen Duren.
Does Shea, but it's just the same with Luke.
Really been talking about this season, though?
It's the same with Luka and the Joker. So. Does one player carry the duo to higher lengths just by themselves?
I think, yeah, because Shea has to be. Because we're talking the best players in the league, top 3, Jokic, Luka, and like Shea is up there. So, yeah, I could see that. I kind of want to go Shea too and J-Will or J-Dub, but only because J-Dub has been injured.
I'm going SGA and J-Dub. Yeah, last name, Victor Wembanyama and De'Aaron Fox.
Victor Wembanyama. I love Victor when he's in a Spurs jersey, for everyone that's listening. When he's in a French jersey, can't stand the man. But
I'm going Cade Cunningham and Jalen Duren.
Okay, respect.
I get it. De'Aaron Fox used to be a king. We've seen him in the playoffs. Game 7, he lost to Stephen Curry, 55 points. I just think what Cade and Jalen bring, I have more confidence in going into the playoffs versus a De'Aaron Fox. I feel a lot more confident having Cade Cunningham or Jalen Duren being my second best player than I do De'Aaron Fox.
Wow. Even though the best player on his team is Victor and the spacing that De'Aaron Fox will get. Yeah. I think offensively and defensively, I just feel like you have to go with the Spurs duo.
But this goes back to if they make the finals. If they make the finals, that means De'Aaron Fox is the second best player on the NBA championship team, NBA championship roster.
I think he can be.
I'm willing to bet we can probably name 6 number 2 better options.
Oh, probably. But I mean, your number 1 option is Victor Wembanyama with like an 8-foot wingspan. So like, bro, like, it ain't that hard to be the best number 2. You got Victor.
I don't know, but I'm standing on business. I'm taking the Pistons.
And toes down. I feel it.
And that is going to do it for episode 183 of Stats Over Politics. Alex Dent, we appreciate you like always. Thank you for taking the time. Episode 183 will be back for episode 184. Hopefully, the tandem will be back together, and we are getting closer and closer to NBA playoffs. And like last year, Alex will get a part to be in the NBA picks, and we'll get to see who has the best record and who really knows the best ball. So please continue to follow us and show us all the support. YouTube, TikTok, Twitch, Instagram, X. We really do appreciate it. We are nothing without you guys, and we just want to come on here every Monday and give you guys the content that you guys are looking for. So for Kevin Dent and Alex Dent, I just want to say thank you, and we will see you guys next week on episode 184 of Stats Over Politics. And lastly, ladies and gentlemen,
Good night.
Birds.